The Doctor with the Magic Eyes. "Good morning," said a cheery voice. It startled Father and the girls. They looked up to see a tall man wearing glasses standing in the path before them. He was dressed in white, for he was the mission doctor, who was on his way home after a long night at the hospital. The doctor was curious. Where was this father taking the two little girls at this early hour? "You are up rather early," the voice continued. "May I ask, where are you going?" "To the temple," answered Father. "Is it not early to go to worship?" asked the doctor. Father looked up into the kind face of the mission doctor and said, "We are not going there to worship." "He is going to sell us as slaves," said Kusumo innocently. The mission doctor looked down at the two little girls. Their black hair was tousled. Their faces were stained with tears. Their garments were soiled and untidy. They needed nourishment. They needed cleanness. They needed a good tonic and a supply of vitamins. He saw that they were so frightened and in need of love and understanding. This was not an unusual case, but somehow the doctor's heart went out to this little group in Christian love and pity. What was the father's reason for selling his two little girls to be slaves in the temple? There was but one reason: financial difficulty. He must really be desperate. "Would you like to tell me about it, my friend?" asked the mission doctor kindly. "Perhaps I can help you." Father would have roughly pushed the man aside and hurried on, but the tender concern in the doctor's voice seemed to hold him. Before he realized what he was doing, Father was pouring out his story into the sympathetic ears of the mission doctor. "Yes, I think I understand," said the mission doctor when Father had finished. "You really do not want to sell these dear little girls to be slaves in the temple, but it seems to be the only way out. It is because your little son is very sick with the fever that you even consent to do so. Now, may I ask, are you sure that the charm doctor can help the baby if you do sell the girls?" "Oh, yes, the charm doctor said so," replied the father, but the mission doctor thought he could detect a slight shadow of doubt. "Perhaps I can make a bargain with you," said the mission doctor after a moment of serious thought. "You?" asked Father a bit eagerly. "Yes, I can save you the long walk to the temple by trading your two girls for a good cow. I will keep the girls at the mission. They will be treated most kindly and given good food and care. They will not be far away, and you may come and see them any time you want and buy them back after the harvest if you wish. And you do not need to pay for the cow until then. How does that sound to you?" The bargain seemed fair enough. Father looked at the two girls beside him. He did not want them to be slaves. Mother did not want them to be slaves. Father looked up into the kind face of the waiting mission doctor. He must make a decision. "But little Adho, my son, how can I get him well if I do not take them to the temple? The spirits are already very angry. If I leave the girls here, will they put another curse on me?" The mission doctor knew this was a delicate question. He knew that superstition of the people of the village. He knew also the hold that the charm doctor had on them and how he deceived them by his spirit curses and charm curses. Holding his hand out to the bewildered father, he said, "If you will trust me, bring your son to the hospital. I will see what I can do for him. I have the magic needle. It has cured many who have had the terrible fever. There is good food cool air, pure water, and many wonderful things at the hospital to help make people well. And best of all, we can depend on the wonderful heavenly doctor who is anxious to heal all sicknesses. He will help us if we ask him." Father was silent for many moments. He looked searchingly into the kind eyes behind the glasses. Surely this man was not playing a trick. How could he and look at him in that kind, honest way? Kasumo was tugging at Father's arm. Her big brown eyes looked pleadingly up into Father's. She did not quite understand what it was all about, but to stay at the mission sounded better than to be a slave in the temple. "Please," she whispered, but Father was still silent. "Perhaps you would like some time to think it over," said the mission doctor. "But if your little son has been sick for many days, it would be advisable to bring him in as soon as possible. Sometimes they come in too late, you know. Then there is no hope that they can be helped." "Please," whispered Kasumi again. "He has the magic eyes. Let him help Ado." Still Father hesitated. Magic needle, cool air, it was all so strange. Would the spirits be angry and bring him more trouble? The mission doctor was tactful. He could see the father's distrust, the result of many generations of superstition. He took a pencil and pad from his pocket and wrote a brief note as Father watched closely. "Magic stick, magic message," said the doctor. "Take this to the man at the mission barn. He will give you a cow that will soon have a little calf. You may leave the 2 little girls with me. I will take them to my wife, the mission lady. She will give them a good breakfast and find a nice room for them. They will stay with us as our guests and go to school." "School," echoed the father. "But schools cost money, many rupees. I am very poor." Father held out his hand in a gesture of hopelessness. "A leopard took my calf. My cow is gone. I cannot sell milk. And it is not yet time for the harvest of rice." "Yes, I know," said the mission doctor. "But I said before that the girls will stay at the mission as my guests until the harvest time. Then, if you want them to continue school, they may be assigned certain little chores to pay for their education. They may earn a few annas that way, and the work our younger students do is not hard. It will be much easier for them here than to be slaves in the temple." "Yes, yes," said Father eagerly. "I want them to go to school. I did not want them to be slaves." "Very well," said the mission doctor. "Let them stay with us. They will go to school and learn many things. But the first thing this morning, bring your son to the hospital. I will do everything I can to make him well and strong." "Big and strong like me?" beamed the father. "I will do everything humanly possible," said the doctor. "With the help of the God in heaven, I feel sure your son will someday be well and strong like his father." "The God in heaven?" asked Father slowly. "But I do not know him." "He is the one who has the power to give life. It was he who made the beautiful sky, the big round sun we see coming up over the hills. He made the trees. He made the beautiful flowers. He made the birds and the animals. He made everything, including you and me. Someday, when your son is well again, you might like to come and hear about the God in heaven. But now, if you think I have made you a fair bargain, leave the girls with me. Take this note to the man at the barn and get the cow. Then hurry back with your little son. I will be waiting for you at the hospital." "But hospitals cost many rupees, too," said Father, as he held out his hands in despair. "I am not asking for rupees," said the doctor kindly. "Just let me help your little son. There will be no hospital cost. Let me prove to you that I am your friend. Will you trust me?" Father looked up into the kind eyes of the mission doctor as he took the slip of paper from his hand. Then he did something he had never done before. He put his arm around each of his little daughters in a brief embrace. Quickly, he ran towards the mission barn where the cows were kept, lest he change his mind. The mission doctor looked down at the two little girls. He was touched by their look of newly awakened love for their father. "He loves us," said Kasumi to Kamari. "He loves us a little bit, even if we are girls." As Kamari began to cry, Kasumi put her arms around her sister to comfort her. "It will be better this way. The big doctor with the magic needle will take care of us, I am sure." "Come, my little one," said the mission doctor. "I will take you to the mission lady. I am sure she will be glad to see you. I am sure you must be very hungry. How about something to eat?" Kasumi and Kamari smiled their assent. So taking them by the hand, he led them to the mission house door, and in a few brief sentences explained their presence to the mission lady.